President Cyril Ramaphosa released over 100 South Africans that were quarantined at the Ranch Hotel outside Polokwane. For more on this, we now cross live to Chriselda Lewis. Chriselda, good evening and welcome to The Full View. This must have come as a relief, especially for these students, considering that they come from the epicenter of the virus, which was Wuhan, and there was a lot of tussle around whether they will be repatriated back or not. And finally, they were, and now the president has released them.
Well, that's right, Aldrin. It's without a doubt that there's relief from those South Africans who were evacuated from Wuhan city and their families, as the citizens have been given a green light to go home, following, of course, the 14-day quarantine at the Ranch Resort just outside Polokwane. In fact, some of them have told me it was a long wait for them to be rejoined with their families. And, of course, President Cyril Ramaphosa earlier today declaring the area of quarantine a green zone free of the coronavirus. And he's basically hailed those who participated in this evacuation, a mammoth task, saying their names will forever be in South Africa's books. So remember, Aldrin, also, most of the students who were part of those quarantined here at home had been under lockdown in Wuhan city at the university there for a month prior to their repatriation. So being in a country that is not your own, a virus breaks out, your movement is being limited, you're not sure when you're going to go home. Certainly that was of great concern to them. So they also returned to the country on the 14th of March. So it's been a long and difficult journey for them. So a bit earlier on, I asked one of the medical doctors who was part of that evacuation to send us his messages. And one of the things that stood out, Aldrin, was that he told me this was one of the most fulfilling projects or journeys that he has been through. Let's take a listen to what Dr. Ahmed Bam had to say.
Good evening from the ranch. As we have our final day now, where all of us have been COVID-19 free. The president, ministers came to see us today to give us the good results. We're just planning the transportation of all our citizens back tomorrow, as well as all of us going back to our family as well. It's been an amazing journey. So much stories to tell, so much emotions, but most importantly, a lot of patriotism to serve our country and to have went and fetched our citizens and flying the South African flags. For me, it's been an amazing journey. I've learned a lot, so much, from all the different government departments, from our president, from the leadership, but most importantly, I've learned a lot from all our beloved, lovely citizens which we repatriated from Wuhan in China. They've taught me a lot in terms of resilience and in terms of what they endured, and education in ways of how important lockdown is, how important discipline is during this tough time. And I really would advise all our citizens in South Africa to adhere to the strict rules from the presidency and the ministers so we can fight COVID-19. It's quite sad now, after 14 days, we've all become families, from the SAA teams to the National Department of Health, to the citizens, to the staff here at the ranch. And this has been a moment in life I will never ever forget. It's one of my best moments in life. I think this friendship, families are going to carry on way beyond the lockdown and for many more years to come. And it's been an amazing journey, and I'd like to thank all departments, all healthcare workers in the front line, all our police officers, defense force fighting there, and our communities, the religious leaders, everyone in these communities, the families that supported us. We really appreciate it. Thanks a lot once again, and I salute you all, and it's been really amazing and a proud and amazing journey to serve our country. Thank you so much.
Well, Chriselda, just listening there to Dr. Bam as well. What's important
Alton,
is
there you have it. Yes.
So, sorry, Chriselda, you can go ahead. I'll ask the question just after this.
All right, Aldrin, indeed an amazing journey, and I don't think any of those, evacuees, as well as the medical staff and those who took that brave journey going to where the coronavirus itself had first been detected. This is certainly something that will remain etched in their minds and hearts for a very long time.
Sure, and I was saying that just listening to Dr. Bum as well, you reminded of what the president said earlier on, and speaking to those young students there, saying that they will now have to play the role of ambassadors because they know what the virus does. They've been at the center of, the epicenter of this virus as well, that they must go out there and preach that this virus kills.
Oh, absolutely, Aldrin, and you can pick that up from the video that Dr. Bam had sent to SABC News, which he just played, him preaching the word of exactly how important a lockdown is. They experienced firsthand the impact of the coronavirus in Wuhan city in China, where it was first detected. So the grief, the pain, the impact, and exactly what everyone had gone through in that particular country is something that they will always remember. The South Africans, for example, some of the students who had been at the university in Hubei province, I mean, to be in a country that is not in your own, all of a sudden you've just graduated from university and then next thing you're unable to go home. They certainly come back with the lessons from that country, lessons and things that they had absolutely no control over. So while they are here, I think it's absolutely correct when the president says they are supposed to be ambassadors now, and as they are reintegrated into their communities amongst their families and their friends, which was long awaited, as they say, they're going to have to preach the seriousness of the impact of the coronavirus that it could possibly have on South Africa if we do not adhere to what government says we should do in order to make sure that we're able to deal with the further spread of the coronavirus in the country.
Indeed, Chriselda, and I just wanted to add quickly as well, for our viewers who may not know this, Chriselda is broadcasting live from her house, and this is part of the SABC, I guess, also playing a role of being an ambassador and showing companies what we can do, and also going a step further and trying to limit the movement as much as possible, Chriselda.
Oh, absolutely, Aldrin. I know that everybody is learning as we go with the coronavirus spread. You know, this is not just a pandemic that affects South Africa, but it affects the entire world. So this is business unusual. The SABC is trying to put all steps in a process to make sure that there's very few people inside the very building where you are, Aldrin. So we've really tried to move around our resources to ensure that if we are able to broadcast from where we are, these are a number of teams that have come together. The camera crew department, the technical teams, our line record office at the SABC, which never gets any kudos, our research teams who are giving us everything that we need. So it's a culmination of a huge group of people who are coming together at the SABC to make sure that the virus is here now. What are we going to do? We have to continue to ensure that the public gets information as much as possible. So we can't really stop broadcasting. We just have to find alternatives and thinking out of the box ways to educate the public as we continue.
Certainly. Thank you so much, Chriselda Lewis, joining us live from her home. This is the new normal.